Hi, I'm Kevin Mahan.
And I'm Sam Chaplin.
I host the Attitude Era podcast.
And I haven't seen any films.
And welcome to Cinema Swirl. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of Cinema Swirl. Hi everyone, I'm Kevin, joined again on this romp through cinema and Hollywood with my good friend Sam. Hello Sam.
Hello.
How's things, OTP?
They're very well, thank you.
Had a nice time doing the first episode.
You know what, Kevin?
Yeah?
We've had a pretty good fortnight.
Yeah, definitely.
After the release of the first episode. It's been emotional, is what it's been.
Hey,
that's what I'd say.
Well, no, it's good because, like, as with anything, releasing a new podcast, we follow the mating tactics of something like a swan or a goose, hatching an egg, caring for it, hoping very much so by asking people to retweet and stuff that it will grow into a full goose. You know, and that's risky because, you know, it's you're relying on the kindness of others. Not an example, like, we wouldn't be like an Atlantic cod. We wouldn't like release 20,000 podcasts knowing full well 97% of them are doomed to die at birth.
Kevin, did you study zoology?
I did, Sam. Yeah, it comes up more naturally in films as it does in wrestling, though. You see, I get to breathe like. But no, thanks everyone very much for helping out because we had an impressive debut. Got in the old iTunes charts.
Yes, we did.
Ended up at bloody number 1 on the film and TV in the UK.
Yes,
and Ireland.
Yeah,
and Australia as well. I hear.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Both sides of the equator. Yeah, and we also got we got in the top 10 overall in the UK, didn't we?
Yeah, we got to number 6. I was screenshotting like mad to preserve the happy memories.
Sorry, I think I hit the microphone when I was patting myself on the back. That's there.
All right.
But it's alright, don't worry. Good things happen with that though, innit? Because we got to beat that old curmudgeon Mark Kermode, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, we beat Mark Kermode.
Mark Kermode and Simon Mayonnaise. Don't forget him.
You know, we did focus on Kermode.
What is a prawn without some mayonnaise beside it? You know what I'm saying? For dipping.
Mark Ketchup and Simon Mayo.
We beat those saucy bastards.
We took them down.
Took them down a peg.
Albeit temporarily.
Very temporarily.
It was a fleeting victory.
But I have it on good authority from Sam, the screen capture there to back up the story.
Yeah.
So it's not all sun and roses though. Mark Kermode, I do not believe he was happy with this, you know.
Okay.
Because no one likes an underdog story at the end of the day.
Because we really hyped it up as a bit of a feud.
And we may or may not, well, I say may or not, we did. We may have vilified him in some respects.
A little bit, yes.
The phrase Mark Kermode hates films was dropped around.
Kermode shot first.
Kermode invented the wipes. But actually, no, because we'll talk about it in a little bit. We're hoping to get some letters and mail from people as for stuff to talk about in future episodes. More on that in a bit. But we did get our first bit of fan mail. Well, okay. I say fan mail. It's actually a letter from Mark Kermode himself.
Oh, that's great.
He wrote in regarding the podcast's success, and Mark writes, "Oi, mugs! You two donkeys had some bloody nerve beating me off in the top spot. You're hacks. I've seen all your films, even the ones from before I was born. Don't never think of doing it again. Make it so." In brackets, I expect that's a reference Sam Chaplin will not get. That fucking villain.
Wow.
Well.
Wow.
What a man.
We won. we won the battle, but Kermode is certainly winning the war.
Right, before we get into the fun bit, the film, because Cinema Swirl, everyone wants to talk about film. Well, it's admin swirl at the moment, because we've got a couple of bits and pieces to take care of, Sam, obviously.
Yeah, sure. Release
schedule. People want to know the release schedule.
When's it coming out?
Never. It's going to be slow, awful, and you'll hate it. No, it's going to every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think that's what we've figured on.
Roughly, give or take.
Give or take.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Sometimes it might be a few days earlier, but on the same token, sometimes it might be a few days later. So basically, it's like the Attitude Era podcast, but it's Sam's responsibility, so you can give out to him and not me.
Okay.
I wash my hands of this. Oh, and also as well, another important thing, we're now on iTunes.
Yep.
Got the old approval from Barry Apple.
Yes.
Barry Apples was down and he said, love the podcast, mate. You're in.
Yeah.
So obviously if you're listening to it, if you listened on SoundCloud or anything, you might want to go and hit that old subscribe, you know.
If you like it, give it a rating and a review.
Yeah, that's people have been doing that already.
Yeah.
And thanks a friggin' million for that.
Been lovely.
Been lovely. Another thing, which was how are we going to decide on what episodes to do? Because a lot of people were kind of wondering if we were just going to do like the next Star Wars movie. Like we're not just going to like take a series in a row. Like we'll nip back. We will do the other Star Wars eventually.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But we thought a good idea might be fan voting.
Yeah, get you involved.
Yeah.
Have some fun.
Have some fun. Have everyone get involved in the swirl.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is on facebook.com/Cinema Swirl, where you should go and most definitely do a like.
Yeah.
We're going to put up 3 films to pick from.
Yeah, you'll have 3 choices.
You vote in the comments because we're not paying for the polling feature on Facebook. Thanks a lot, Zuckerberg. So they're going to put that in there. There'll be 3 films to vote for. In an odd thing, whichever gets the highest votes will win.
Whoa!
I know.
Slow down, Kevin.
That's gonna be the number one we do, and I think to keep it fair, because in a lot of cases, because you'll be picking from Hollywood classics, all the number 2s will automatically go into the following months.
Yeah, and every film will eventually kind of be brought back into the mix.
Yeah. So say for instance, if we put up like Independence Day. And it doesn't get voted, that doesn't mean it'll never be done.
Yeah, it's not gone forever.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
We will. We'll get to them all eventually. So we've been enjoying very much so all the lovely comments on Twitter and the Facebook and things like that. Yeah. And we thought it might be a nice idea because the people seem very intrigued by you, Sam.
Yeah, they do. They do, don't they?
We have, I would say, 70 to 30 or 80 to 20 percentage-wise, people kind of going, I can't believe Sam hasn't seen this film.
Yeah.
But then we have had the few people going, I've not seen any films either.
Yeah,
mate.
It's nice. I feel less alone thanks to this podcast. People coming in.
There's more crew members on the SS haven't seen any films, mate. So we thought a cool idea for like the start of episodes going forward. If people wanted to send in emails or communication of note, so we can have a chat about them. It could be questions, it could be comments, it could be a critique, it could be anything like that. As long as it's lighthearted and funny, because we don't want any super serious. Mate, leave your essays at home, right? This ain't school. Yeah.
No, and I'm anticipating a lot of. Has Sam seen this? Why hasn't he seen this? Has he seen this? Which is fine, you know.
It is kind of the gist of the podcast, so I expect a fair few of those. But if you do have a question or a comment or a letter or a mail, I am saying this now with the possibility in my head that it might be a rubbish idea.
Yeah,
so in case we might just. So it's up to you, fans.
If next week there's no mention,
if it's quietly swept under the rug,
that's your fault.
It's your fault at home. Shame on you.
Yeah.
It's cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
That's the one.
Drop it there. Leave a question, comment thing in the subject line.
And as always, you can get in touch on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah.
At CinemaSwirl, Facebook.
And we'll Swirl.
Yeah.
Also, as well, another thing. Sorry, we didn't expect to have this much admin, but a lot of fucking shit has happened in the last 2 weeks.
It has. We've had a busy 2 weeks.
And it didn't help the fact that I was in another country on a train for most of that time.
During Commode Mania, Kevin was travelling.
I was in Tullamore train station. Yeah. Trying to keep up with what was going on. We had an amazing thing launch, which was the YouTube channel.
Oh,
which I would like to sit back, and I assume you would as well like to sit back and take credit for this.
But we really can't.
We really can't.
No.
Joanna Graham, at @DJoannaGraham on Twitter, she went and only bloody made a fucking amazing animation for the Chewbacca wearing with a gun bit. Yeah. And then Dan as well, also our mate Dan went and he only went and he did another bloody animation for.
And they're both fantastic.
They're fucking amazing, and that's entirely their doing.
Yeah, that's not us congratulating ourselves.
No, even though
we had nothing to do.
It's our ugly mugs on the banner on YouTube. So if you haven't already, head over to YouTube. Go to the Cinema Swirl page, give a subscribe, check out the videos. We're hopefully going to have, because they're just little simple animations, we're hopefully going to have other artists, other kind of illustrators do different ones, so it'll be, all different kinds.
Yeah, be a nice ongoing thing.
Nice little ongoing thing. If there are bits of the podcast going forward which you would like to be turned into an animation,
let us know. Yeah.
Let us know, or let Joe know at the Joanna Graham, because that is all her business, and I do not want any. And I thank her very much for that. I don't want the hassle, mate.
All right, let me know. I'll forward it on to Joe.
Yeah, fine, grand. And I think that about does it for the admin.
Yeah, I think so.
So we decided, after much trepidation, episode 2 would be another one of my favouriteest movies in the world, which is Terminator 2. Now, I'm loving the idea now of the podcast already being, instead of Kevin shows Sam's cinema classics, he just shows him all his favourite films. So we get the best Saturday afternoon ever. But yeah, Terminator 2, it was requested.
No, a lot of people suggested Terminator 2 straight away. And not Terminator 1.
No, definitely
Terminator
not.
2.
Terminator 2.
Not the first one. No.
I was a little bit worried, and there were some people who were like, would you not do Terminator 1 first? And I was like, well, it was like the time it's not like Home Alone or something like that, where you need to see the second one to really get the gist of what's going on.
Yeah.
And also, though, Terminator 1, bloody violent movie, proper spooky.
And you don't want me to get upset?
No. Or me, for that matter. So I want to have a romp on a Friday afternoon. I don't want to have no scary Terminator coming to get me. Like,
I was confused by people suggesting Terminator 2. I kind of asked, is Terminator 1 rubbish?
No, it's not though. It's amazing.
No, it's good, but the second one is the best one.
Yeah,
it's better than the first one.
Yeah,
and I was saying, by that logic, Terminator Salvation should be incredible. And for some reason, Kevin, people didn't seem to think that was the case.
That's not the case now. Like,
I don't know.
Maybe we will do Terminator Salvation. We may have to change the Oxford Dictionary of Hollywood Classic, but we might do it. Like, say Terminator 2. This is like, if we've any Irish listeners, they will know immediately why Terminator 2 is like a massive deal to me, because in Ireland, for whatever reason, you're giving me such a strange look.
I'm trying to work out how there could be a link.
It's a Catholic thing, mate. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's like RT2, which is it's like, or BBC2 basically.
Okay.
They had very few films in stock, so to say. Like, they didn't have a very impressive DVD collection like you or I would. So yeah, RT2, not many films, which meant that when it came time to have a film to take up a lot of their programming every few Saturday evenings, because there wasn't many shows being made, they pop on a movie. And 9 times out of 10, that movie was Terminator 2.
Okay.
Now, I shit you not, and this isn't some sort of trap, and you shouldn't feel intimidated by the fandom, but I have seen this movie as a result at least 50 times. And that is not an exaggeration. That is the movie I think I've seen most in my life as that result.
Right. So you're going to know what's what.
Not really, because I started watching it when I was like 6 or 7, which you don't really take it in, because you're all like, there's like kids all lying around and, watching it as a big group at a sleepover or whatever. It's not a sexy thing.
No.
But, so yeah, as an adult, right, I grew in then to really appreciate the man himself. The man this movie really is all about, Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
A popular action star.
And Governor of California.
Yep.
And don't forget his accomplishments on the incredibly competitive male bodybuilding circuit.
Well, how could I forget?
Exactly. So, I mean, for me, I would say as an adult, as a child, I was moulded by Terminator 2. But as an adult, I was moulded by and finished and polished by the guidance of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
He's a big deal for me.
So you've seen this 50 times, because my dad listened to the first podcast, and he was talking about it and said, Kevin's quite clued up on his Star Wars, isn't he? But this is going to be a whole nother.
He's read books,
yeah.
But no, it's not like Star Wars though, where it was like a fandom. It was just an awesome movie that we happened to watch a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
So I don't have I'm not big into the Terminator franchise. Like, I'm not like I haven't got like the Terminator novels or the games, or I'm not one who's that interested into it as a franchise.
It's not like a definitive part of your childhood.
No,
it's just
the
there
film.
All the time.
It was there a lot,
Yeah.
and I'm a Schwarzenegger nut, as we will find out as this podcast goes on, and this is kind of, I think, where it all began. But so
not Daddy Daycare.
Not Daddy Daycare.
Is it Daddy Daycare? No, kindergarten.
Oh my God, Sam! For fuck's sake! Daddy Day. Oh
No,
my
he's
god.
He's not in Daddy Daycare, is he?
No, that's fucking Eddie Murphy and it's shit.
No, he's in Kindergarten Cop.
Kindergarten. God, it's so good.
It is good. I've seen Kindergarten Cop.
I'm actually that my immediate thought there.
I've not seen it.
Was just to go, fuck it, let's do Kindergarten
yeah.
Cop instead, because that is now more imperative. Fucking hell. What's that movie, what's the one that he's in, is it Grown Ups 2? No, it's Predator. Fucking... Okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger from the Big Mama's House series.
Okay, so like, have you seen any Schwarzenegger movies?
Well, I've seen Kindergarten Cop.
Clearly, it's stuck with you.
I must have done, but I can't recall many off the top of my head.
Predator.
No.
Conan.
No.
True Lies.
Nope.
Raw Deal.
Nope.
Conan 2.
Nope.
No, you haven't seen Terminator 1 either.
Nope.
Fucking hell. Junior?
Nope.
Do you know what happens in Junior?
I don't know what Junior is.
Do you know that there's a movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger got pregnant?
No.
You just found that out now! Oh my god, fuck me.
What?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Have you seen Twins?
No. Does Arnold Schwarzenegger give birth to twins?
No, him and Danny DeVito are twins. And they get into it. This is brilliant. They should make you a Hollywood executive because you've heard no idea ever, basically. So it all sounds...
They can pitch this stuff to me and I'll just like, you're on.
Make it. Like,
green lit.
have you seen like Batman and Robin, the shitty Batman movie? With
Mr.
Freeze.
Yeah.
Oh, so...
I've seen... Well, no, I don't know if I've... No, I think I did during, like, when I was growing up, I saw that. And I know that the awful, awful quotes.
So, for the record, going into this now, I've seen this movie 50 times.
Right.
And the only Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that you've seen, so far as we know...
Kindergarten Cop.
And Batman and Robin.
And Batman and Robin.
And for the record, you confuse Kindergarten Cop with Daddy Daycare. Fuck me, man.
With Big Daddy Daycare.
Big Daddy Daycare. That'd be a good name for a wrestler.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Daycare. So, right, do you know much about Schwarzenegger, though?
I know who's the governor of California. I know that it's not a tumour. I know that he needs to get to the chopper. I don't know if this is the chopper movie. It might well be.
Keep your ears open. Because you never know.
I know he's quotable. And
what are his other quotes then? Come on. He used one for his government campaign, like.
Did he?
So, yeah.
I know Ice to Meet You or something like that from Batman and Robin.
It hardly count as a classic Arnie line, man.
It's more like a noise that he does. Which I'm not going to... Before you even ask, I can't do because it's...
I was going to ask, like, because, I mean, from the best I can tell, how you piece together Schwarzenegger is a faded at best recollection of Kindergarten Cop and assumedly pieces on CNN about him when he was a governor.
Well, like, my friends make jokes about Arnold Schwarzenegger, so I hear them say it's not a tumour, like, a lot. And they go, that was alright.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, he does that noise. It's mostly that noise.
But, like, I'll be back. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, that's the main one, isn't it?
That's a massive one.
That's the Terminator one.
I think that was actually voted most memorable catch. Like, it's the catchphrase that's most known by everyone across the world.
No, right. I knew it, but it didn't jump out. But I was thinking before that it would be funny if I didn't know it, and then I've forgotten it now, and that I'd get it wrong. I'd be like, I'll come back or something.
I'll be back in a moment. Yeah. I'm just nipping to the shops. So, like, Terminator then, though, you clued in on what's going on here? I mean, because it's something that's been parodied a lot.
Yeah.
You know, even in The Simpsons is when you mentioned this, where you get a lot of this from. Simpsons have parodied Terminator a good few times. Okay. Specifically Terminator 2, actually.
Right. Does he have, like, laser eyes? Computer eyes?
Well, no,
that things pop up.
Computer eyes.
Like,
it's a fucking villain in Captain Planet. I'll get you next time, computer eyes.
It looks like that Nintendo 3D goggle console.
Wait, do you think he can... Yeah, the famous, the red eyes, what you're talking about, with like the little targety dealy on it.
Yeah. Do you see through his eyes?
You do, yeah.
Yeah.
You said laser eye, though.
Laser... It's red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like shooting lasers?
Not shooting lasers. Looking lasers.
So a laser will come out, like a laser sight?
No.
Like for a gun,
No, I think he's just got a like a red eye, but not like...
It's a medical condition. Yeah. he's been picking at it too much.
Terminator, famous for pink eye.
Yeah.
I think he's got like at least one red laser eye. But he wears sunglasses.
So you don't see it.
So you don't see it. Clever tactic, so you don't know he's... Right.
Why has he got a laser eye?
Is he a robot? Because I don't know whether he's a robot or...
I don't want to spoil... No, I'm not going to spoil it for you yet.
Has he got...
All right, now this is an audio podcast, so you run into some problems now and then. Sorry. But you going, is he like, and then moving your arms up and down is not...
No, is he a juggler? No.
So he may be a robot.
I know he's got robot elements to him.
Well, Schwarzenegger does anyway, though, doesn't he?
Well, yeah. But I don't know how much of... No, he is a robot.
Tune in to find out, like. Well, no, that's good to go, because, I mean, this is like, in Star Wars, you didn't know where they were fighting.
Yeah.
And I think not knowing if Terminator is a robot or not, going into to watch the Terminator means that, there's a big question there, because that is a big one, obviously.
Like, you were saying to me before that, having not seen Terminator 1, there's not that much that I'll miss out on.
No.
But I assume at some point it's revealed robot or no robot.
In the course of events,
yeah,
you find out that
okay,
that is revealed to you.
Okay, I'm starting to lean towards robot. I think he is a robot.
I'm saying nothing, dude.
He's like a humanoid robot, or is he human who has got...
Do you know what he's doing? Who he fights?
I know he's time traveling.
Hey,
yeah, sent back to get John Connor.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like a baby watching his first words form. Mm-hmm. That was insane. Like.
So he's been sent back to do something with John Connor.
Okay. That's good. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, we reckon, antagonist or... Do you think he's a goodie or a baddie?
Right, now, part of the fun of the Twitter is interactions with the fans.
Yeah.
And we posted a picture of us as the Terminator
characters.
And John Connor, little preview. And someone said, Terminator face turn.
Oh, well.
But it took me so long to work out what that meant. Because in the photo, Terminator's face is turned to the side. And I was like... I was sort of like, well, yes.
This is great because it's like the wrestling fans who listen to this podcast. It's like we've got a little code. Like,
yeah, you've been sneaking in references from.
I might sneak in a little something here and there. Yeah. Like,
I'm none the wiser.
We might take this thing to a Broadway. Like, but who knows? I mean, it remains to be seen. Like, as long as you get your take, that's fine, brother. But right, so did you know then from the basis of that?
But for those who don't know wrestling terms, a face turn is becoming the goodie.
Basically, yeah.
A goodie.
A goodie is a face, so a face turn means you're aligning yourself. Okay,
so before that, he was a heel.
Yay! That is a baddie.
Yeah.
For the non-wrestling fans.
Yes. But so I know that presumably in Terminator 2 he is good.
Yeah, you're right.
And that implies Terminator 1, bad Terminator.
Bad Terminator.
Bad Terminator. Naughty Terminator.
Naughty Terminator.
Yeah. So I don't know if the heel turn happens during the movie or at the end of the... See, I've not seen Terminator 1, which...
it will be particularly interesting to see how you react to the events. But I mean, I think the first and foremost about this, unlike Star Wars, which had the big massive kind of tapestry of info which you kind of have to get clued in on, like it's a Schwarzenegger movie, and even though there is loads of other Terminator expanding for stuff which don't really, it's a more basic story.
It's not a deep mythology.
No.
In the same way that Star Wars is. Yeah.
No, Alec Guinness is nowhere to be seen.
Oh.
In this one.
That's a shame.
So, can I get you just before we maybe get into it, to do your best Arnold Schwarzenegger impression?
Well, there was a hint of it earlier.
Yeah, that was, like a sentence though, or,
Okay.
That you get back. You're just doing your Chewbacca impression. That's actually better than your Chewbacca impression. Chewbacca. It's better than your Chewbacca impression. Episode 1.
No, get back to the chopper.
Wow.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's the.
I'm really trying to figure out what that is. It's kind of like a Pokemon, like, you know.
He keeps
That's
saying
part of his name,
Schwarzenegger,
like.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the hand motions which you're doing as well, which is kind of like you're like pushing people away.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a monster, get away from me.
Yeah.
I'll burn your villages.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's about the bases covered for this little preview. But we're going to go do now is we're going to go watch Terminator 2, and we're going to go do a cinema swirl on it. All right, let's go watch this. Alright, that was fucking awesome.
It was amazing.
That was... We just spent... I like, because we watched Star Wars. It was a Saturday afternoon, which I felt was very appropriate time-wise to watch that film.
Yeah.
Now, this is a Friday night, and we just after watching proper lads' night. Yeah? We had spaghetti. we had spaghetti. We had a bit of Terminator. And good God in heaven, I'm jazzed up. You know what? On 51st viewing, it still held up for me.
Yeah.
Sam, initial reaction to Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
You saw my immediate reaction post Terminator. It was just fucking yeah.
That is actually
was so good.
Actual quote. Fucking yeah. It was amazing. You actually, at multiple points in this film, punched the air. I went, fuck yeah, and things like you were hooping and hollering in a positive way.
And I've surprised myself in that regard because I'm not much of an action fan. Or at least I didn't think so.
That's interesting because, well, you say you're not an action fan.
Yeah.
But most of the movies that I would say are the action films.
Yeah.
You've not seen.
No,
Like,
I think what's happened is
what
I've not seen good action. I've seen bad action that's derivative of the
like
good
this.
action.
Yeah. And I mean, Terminator 2 is pretty much up there as one of the Mac Daddies of of an action film. Yeah, James Cameron as well. That was one which... have you seen any of James Cameron's films?
I've seen Titanic. What was it? The big ticket movies.
Avatar?
Not seen Avatar.
I've actually not seen Avatar.
Whoa.
I know, but that's more out of principle, and I feel I'm cooler for not having seen it.
Yeah, I think that's one of those ones where it's kind of acceptable not to see it.
Yeah,
maybe.
Fun side note about Titanic. Going back to the Kevin's warped Catholic upbringing, I saw Titanic and I told like everyone in school, and then my teacher found out because I was 10 and it was rated 12s.
Oh yeah,
and there was a lot of scuttlebutt amongst the priests and whatnot that there was hands, sweaty hands and boobs. And drawings of boobs, so I got in trouble for that.
Rightly so, I'd say.
Rightly so. Thanks a lot, Cameron. Yeah, but yeah, Terminator 2, fucking hell. Right off the bat, this a phrase that you notice that we say quite a lot.
Yeah.
Or is it both of us, or is it just me?
It was both of us. We both said right off the bat.
We're enablers. No, right off the bat, devastation, which is obviously the theme of this movie. A lot of explosions.
Well, now, are we starting at the start with this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, because I saw the title card, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and the first thing I noticed is I have been spelling judgment wrong for what must be a very long time.
How do you spell it?
I whack an E in there after the G.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of all the games of Scrabble you've won ill-gottenly with... Judgment doesn't have a... It doesn't have an E in it, or is it a case of American spelling?
Maybe.
Because
I wrote down T2 Judgment Day, and then like before we'd seen the film, just so I've got a title of what the film is, and then immediately I was like, shit.
Part of me wants to go rip out my Attitude Era podcast notebook and see how I spelled Judgment Day, the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But you know what, we're rolling, mate. So
but I'm unsure about the spelling of judgment. Tweet us.
Robots, explosions.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, unbelievable. I don't know. I felt like a child again watching this film.
Yeah, I was so excited.
It was, and that's amazing. It's like that with Star Wars as well, isn't it? I do actually feel 2 episodes in, if anything, this podcast has been a good idea just to see that look. I've never seen that look of childlike wonder in your eyes before. Because anything when we ever watch anything together, it's always like comedy or satire or something that's purposely shit. But actually to see that it's beautiful. If I could bottle that and sell it, I would make a fortune.
You would, yeah. No, it's been a great experience so far. We've really struck gold.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The theme music for Terminator is one that sends chills down my spine. As a man of music who has made our beautiful music on this show,
thank you.
Are you a fan of the old
Yeah.
So guess me there.
Yes, it was hard hitting. There was a lot of drum in the.
Actually, it's always good if anyone out there looking for a secret knock for a door. I'm a friend of Phil Mitchell. So we get the scene set for this. We're talking about the future. It's Skynet. And of course, immediately we're introduced to John Connor, who I'm not sure if you're aware, this adult future John Connor. Do you know who that is in Terminator Salvation?
Oh, is that Christian Bale?
That's Christian Bale.
Oh.
So the kind of stern man we saw at the start was kind of like a facsimile of Christian Bale, like, you know.
Wow.
A lot of fire in this.
A lot of fire in that first bit. We see a big scary robot thing. Skeletor robot.
So I think off the bat your query as to, you know, are they robots or not was pretty
answered very early on.
What I was going to say this actually, because this is one of the most impressive shots of the film. Is like right at the start we see the full exoskeleton Terminator walking across.
Yeah,
that was all done hand model, like Wallace and Gromit job. Oh, that looks fucking They I think the effects and whatnot we can say off the bat, like
I kept saying throughout the CGI or what might not be CGI. Really well done.
The special. It's funny because nowadays with films you say the CGI.
Yeah.
Whereas with films like this you can actually say
special effects.
The effects that are special. He's got some sort of tin with sparkly paint in it, and he managed to make the T-1000 look like liquid. Amazing. Great. So we're introduced to our protagonist fairly early on. Naked Arnold Schwarzenegger, hereby referred to as Arnie. He is a T-800, a Terminator, sent backwards in time. This time, not to kill Sarah Connor, as previously mentioned, but to save John Connor. And of course, right off the bat, we get a lot of kerfuffle wackiness because he's a fish out of water in a world he didn't make. It's he's a robot, and there ain't too many robots in Texas. You know?
The first thing I've noted down after Arnold appears, very excited, woman smiles at his willy. When he goes into the old bar there.
What do you mean? He's full naked.
He's on show, and everyone's.
You think when a man evolved in bodybuilding to that extent, do you think stuff like that is just there to kind of sway the natural inclination, which is to believe that he has a shriveled testes and penis because of potential drug use
or steroid abuse?
Yeah, because that does your testosterone in, doesn't it? So maybe that was just in there as a kind of a don't worry, his dick is huge, but
still fine,
still 12. Don't worry, like. Yeah, he walks in and they're all like, kind of, we don't serve your kind here.
Naked weirdos.
naked robots are not allowed in here.
Yeah, right. Actually, people react like differently. You see people reacting differently to him being naked in a bar. There's not as much of a fuss as I think there should be for naked man walks into bar.
Well, he's a naked man. We have to realise as well, he's also a very imposing man.
Yeah, big, strong naked man.
And for me, if Arnie walked into a bar or whatever, or even to this bedroom right now, I will say 1991 Arnie, just for argument's sake, quite an imposing fellow. Yeah. I would be quite imposed. Now, if he came in naked, you think the instinct is to laugh or ridicule, but I would find it even more imposing.
Yeah, I suppose.
If he came in and he was bollock naked, I'd be like, all right, don't have any trouble.
Yeah.
Just, take what you want.
This guy means business.
This guy ain't going to be talked down off his perch. Like,
he's got shit to do and he didn't have time to put on clothes.
So he asked for your man's clothes, boots, and motorcycle. Yeah. We get a kerfuffle, and immediately the movie is violent.
I've used that chat-up line in the past, and it has never worked. But
that's because you've not seen the film, so
no.
You now try it now. With the bit of conviction of having seen the media behind it. So, I mean, you could tell, as I said, violent film off the bat. We get the stabbing, lots of like...
Yeah.
And it was at this moment I realised that, again, this was another thing which was a large part of my childhood that was clearly not suitable. My parents turned a blind eye 50 times to Kevin seeing naked Arnold Schwarzenegger stab a load of dudes.
Yeah, it's pretty intense right out of the gate.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So Arnie gets his duds, which caused you to laugh greatly.
Because Bad to the Bone.
Bad to the Bone!
is playing. I was thinking... Like bad to the admittedly metal bone.
Bad to the bad to the endoskeleton.
Yeah.
You know. Bad to the bone is one of many phrases we hear tonight, which is too 90s for its own good.
Oh man, there's a lot of them though.
Because bad to the bone is a phrase. When I hear the phrase bad to the bone, I imagine a pot-bellied man with bad to the bone tattooed in a crescent over his stomach.
Yes.
And that spelled THA.
Yeah.
And 2, a number.
Well, that guy shows up with a shotgun.
Shotgun Willie.
Shotgun Willie. Saying, mate, I'm not going to let you take a man's wheels.
they live by code. You got to live by something. I mean, Arnie's code is that he walks around naked, nicking stuff. This man's code is you don't take another man's
wheels,
son. So yeah, bad to the bone. And Arnie, shoots off looking basically like... If I was to ask you to draw a picture of Arnie before we started, I'm pretty sure that's the one that everyone knows. The leather jacket, sunglasses, big car, big bike, and
little car, really.
It's like a little wee car, and the shotgun as well. So
yeah,
you a fan of Arnie off the bat? Then I mean, considering you hadn't really seen him as a action star before this.
Yeah, it was. Well, I wasn't convinced just yet. You know, it was. He'd just beaten some people up and...
he's not a very good...
Nicked some sunglasses.
I love the man, but...
Yeah.
He's very much ain't his strong point.
No. And he is perfectly cast
Yeah.
as a robot.
Basically.
Yeah.
I think in the original
genius.
Terminator, he had like 20 lines of dialogue or something like that. Now, he's got more in this.
Yes.
But he can kind of get the monotonous tone and the cadence which is required suits him down to the fucking ground.
It's perfect, yeah. Well, shortly after that, we see another nudie turn up. Another rude, nude man.
And you're probably thinking, Kevin, you've put on the wrong bloody film, mate. It's the other Friday night DVD you put in.
Yeah, and Arnie, he gets biker look. That's what he gets. This nudie, he looks out because he's got sexy cop.
Yeah, he's very fortunate, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got hot policeman fancy dress, which...
and a car, and a cover.
And a car, yeah. And I think that puts him in good stead for the rest of the movie. Him just looking like a policeman and wearing policeman stuff and driving in a policeman car sorts out loads of stuff for him.
It also makes him more intimidating as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Some would argue that even if he wasn't a goopy robot, he would be
Yep.
For me, I think T-1000 is one of the all-time great villains in a film. Because he says fuck all, and he is so scary, and it's just all from the way he's presented. He still gives me shivers when I see T-1000. I think he's scarier than like a Freddy Krueger or any of the kind of the classic Hollywood booger men.
It's the dead-faced creepiness.
He's clean cut. He looks a little bit like David Bowie. I don't trust him.
He does.
He does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm a big fan of T-1000, definitely. So, yeah, T-1000 kind of goes off on his quest as well. He's basically have to find John Connor as well, except you know that he's basically going to try and kill John, as opposed to Arnie, who wants to kiss John. You, at the start, though, I noticed with T-1000, didn't buy him as this powerhouse of cinema, because at the start, you just, every time he did anything, you were just tittering. Like, he was there on the computer looking for John Connor's address, and you were tittering away. Look at his logical pursuit of the victim.
I think I was. Also, there was John. He was looking on the computer for John Connor. On his computer?
The police computer.
John Connor, right? Mother, Sarah Connor. Mm-hmm. Natural father, unknown. Plot point? Question mark? Sure is.
Wow, you were paying attention in this bit. Yeah. Fucking hell.
I was trying to find all... I thought I'm going to bring that up later and I'll seem really cool because I've worked out that no one knows who his dad is and that's like important. No, that was established last time.
Last film, yeah. So that was there. It was good. So if you're someone who's too lazy to watch the first film or too, like not prepared enough, you're not going to watch the first film, but you're also observant enough that you're going to read little bits of off-screen text.
Yeah.
That was basically just for you. James Cameron made it
You can
just
sort
for
of piece
you.
it together, yeah.
We meet our boy, JC, John Connor, in the midst of the 1990s.
Oh.
Radical, tubular. Dude. My 10-speed has got a fucking, I don't know, Streets of Rage game on it. It's so 90s.
It is. It's very 90s.
Little mullet kid with him as well.
Little dorky mullet kid. John likes motorbikes, so I think him and Arnie, they're going to get on. Because they've instantly got a bond over motorcycles.
Like a father and son. Like.
Yeah, exactly. I've been noticing things. I can tell what the plot's going to be just by little tiny.
So
things
you reckon
like
you
that.
kind of knew, like, yeah, straight away that
He's got a motorbike. Arnie's got a motorbike. These guys are going to get on like a house on fire.
Well, I also probably would have helped the fact that you saw that picture of the two of them on a motorbike together that you photoshopped for the episode artwork.
That's part of it. Sure. Yeah.
That is just your cinema expertise coming through because you are a cinema boffin now.
But a lot of it was just,
Off the cuff, mate.
Yeah.
John Connor, a little bit of a mouthy fella.
He swears like a sailor.
He was a bad influence. Like,
Bloody hell.
when I was growing up, I didn't have a lot of bad kids I hung around with.
Yeah.
But considering I spent around 100 hours with this kid when I was growing up, he was the closest thing to a bad influence I had.
Yeah,
like
he's rubbed off on you. That's why
he's,
you got your...
got potty mouth because of him. Like, I'm always hacking ATMs, mate, and getting all the money for free.
Yeah.
Payday, or was it easy money?
Easy money.
Easy money. Did you find it irritating? Because I mean, like, it's a trope in action movies. The mouthy young kid.
Yeah.
The mouthy white male kid
The rude dude with the bad attitude.
who doesn't even know that he's not an adult. Like, you know.
He comes off as, a snarky little brat, but, I mean, that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think if one thing is, that was a big thing back in the day, wasn't it? It was like
that's an outdated trope. Now.
Yeah, the sassy kid,
Yeah,
which is why Bart Simpson is like the most tragic character in the world at the moment, like, you know. So we cut as well to our other protagonist, and this is nice change of pace from Princess Leia, who is, not exactly a very strong female character. We got Sarah Connor, one of the all-time action female heroes.
Yeah.
And she is ripped and also in a mental institution. And she's basically there because the events of the first film means that everyone thinks she is crazy.
Okay.
So,
Does that have something to do with, at the very start of the film, we get a little weird sequence with the kids on a swing set.
Yeah.
And it goes to slow motion. I said at the start, looks like the intro of an episode of Holby City.
Fuck's sake.
That something bad's going to happen to these kids on the swings. And later I find out something really fucking
Well,
bad
it's a premonition of things to come.
Yeah.
But I like Sarah Connor, though.
Oh, she's great. Yeah.
Following the kind of... well, you've not seen Alien, but I was going to say following the whole kind of Ridley tradition. Like, Sam is shrugging as I say that. But, like, it's nice to know that, like, in the midst of Schwarzenegger and Stallone, all these fucking big, heavy action dudes, there was a couple of decent female characters in there.
Yeah.
Tiddling around.
Some ladies kicking some serious ass.
It tells you more that there's a more balanced, even female character in Terminator 2 than there is in True Detective. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, we have all these not so nice scenes of the guards
Oh,
beating her up.
God.
And
the woman beating creeps. They're horrible. And I wrote down that I hope they die.
It's one of those tropes as well, isn't it? It's like, if there is a mental institution in a action film, the guy who runs it is either a pervert or a sadist, and all the guards are diddlers. Like, there's no way about it. Like,
There was the bit where he gives her the meds and says, "Sweet dreams."
because you know
so
that
awful.
because he comes back later and he licks her.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to the licking later.
When he kisses her.
No, he licks her. He probably...
When he said "sweet dreams," you bust your shit laughing.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Yeah, it was
Such
like,
a-
lay it on thick, like.
I was like, these guys are creeps. That's fine. And then sweet dreams seals the deal.
I kind of like it, though. I liken it to pantomime almost, in that they're very obvious and laying the kind of this guy's a baddie.
Yeah.
There's no one's going to come away going, well, actually, I think the guards are...
Don't feel any sympathy for these characters later on when bad shit happens to them.
Because it's like, I don't know, it feels like that with, like, movies like this is probably why people all enjoy them en masse, and there's no kind of, like, no one disagrees about things. It's because it's like everything's presented so plainly.
Very black and white.
Yeah.
Who's good and who's bad.
No one's shooting first in fucking Terminator is all I'm saying. Like, T-1000 interviews the long-suffering foster parents of John Connor. Very smooth. Very smooth.
He comes to the door looking like a strippogram.
Hot cops, dude. He's serious.
Yeah.
I like it because it's like back in the 90s when everyone was like full of Bill Clinton and happiness and get up and go. Stuff like this would come around. It's like, actually no, it's very easy for a bad man to get in your home.
Yeah.
Because if this happened in modern day, this lad wouldn't be getting hey, can I have a photo of your child?
Can I have a photo of your child? Good looking boy.
Sexy kid you got there.
Ew.
Have you got anything from a summer vacation camp where you might not be wearing a shirt?
And there's like, can I keep this picture? Sure. Go for it.
We've got a whole bunch. Like, take the album, you know?
Right, he's a bit of a naughty boy, officer.
Well, I mean, all you need to know, right?
You can have whatever you want.
Take home from this is
Yeah.
30 seconds of smooth talk from some piece of filth.
Yeah.
Is all it takes to get them in their home. So, lock up, people. That's all.
Just letting that sit.
We got to John Connor robbing an ATM using hacking, which is,
I hate this sort of thing because, like,
plug in a firewire.
how does he
up
know
the
how
money
to...
bit? Up
Yeah.
when the money comes out. And look at all the hashtags and asterisks. He's got to get free money. I love the way as well, right? He robs the ATM, but he gets like 2 notes out of it.
Yeah, he doesn't
It's
get much
easy money.
Yeah, he
And
just gets pocket money out of it.
obviously he didn't do the hard enough level to get all the money.
There's a bit that I had a little qualm with, which is such a specific thing to get annoyed about. But on the ATM, when it's running through all the stuff, at the end it says PIN identification number. Now, PIN stands for personal identification number. So what you're saying there is personal identification number.
Ridiculous.
Oh no, personal identification.
See, it is tricky.
Identification number.
It is tricky.
Yeah.
Dropping in extra I's and N's, it can happen.
There's too many I's and N's.
Look, it happened to James Cameron and it's happened to you. So,
Yeah.
I mean... We get a visit from Kyle, who was kind of the guy trying to save Sarah in the first movie.
Who?
Yeah. He's only bloody Sarah Connor's would-be lover and father to John Connor.
Okay.
And it's a dream, and he's like, kind of, you gotta keep it together. She goes out and once again witnesses the planet exploding in a fiery ball of fire.
Yeah.
Very orange film, this.
Yeah.
Like-
Very orange.
There were several points where the screen is filled with nothing but inferno for like up to 30 seconds. You said it was like there was loads of orange broccoli on the screen.
I said broccoli first, but then I realised it's like red cauliflower.
a similar vegetable.
Yeah.
Just you're taking a sidestep there, basically.
Just so you can visualise that. It's sort of expanding orange cauliflower coming at you. That's what a mushroom cloud looks like.
Yeah.
This film really helps me out in terms of me being someone who hasn't seen the first one.
Yeah.
Like Kyle just turning up in a dream sequence being, hello,
Just so you know.
Yeah, it's really helpful.
Did you feel lost at any point?
No.
Because people were kind of going like, why are you doing Terminator 2 and not Terminator 1? Like, Terminator 2 is the Hollywood classic. Terminator 1 is a great movie, but it's completely different and you don't need to see it. It's a horror movie. This is an action blockbuster.
Not to suggest that people who said
No.
like snarky.
No,
Why don't you do the first one?
It's like, it's funny, like, it's because it is weird, like, this is a sequel where you can get by without ever seeing it. Is Home Alone 2 in that sense, It really is. Yeah. Have you seen Home Alone 2?
I've seen Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Have you seen Home Alone 1, though?
No, mate.
For fuck's sake. Alrighty. Cut to Skynet, where there are a bunch of dorks working away on a computer.
One loser trips over a bin. What a fool.
And this is one thing which I thought you would pick up on greatly, which is the massive Pepsi product placement in this film.
It's big Pepsi.
How much do you love Pepsi?
Right,
We've
not
never
established
mentioned
it.
this.
Right.
This is a big part of our relationship. Is Pepsi.
This is like a side story arc in the Kevin and Sam relationship.
Yeah.
It's just that I am a huge fan of Pepsi, specifically Pepsi Max, maximum taste, no sugar.
And they've got good marketing for that, obviously, as well.
They have got great marketing for that. It's all about mates. Having a great time with your mates.
Who would you rather spend a weekend with? A posh celeb or your mates?
My mates.
I'm down to earth. I like my Pepsi Max. I like my mates.
Yeah.
You posh celebs with your champagne. No thanks.
That's
yeah?
the whole marketing campaign. I drink Pepsi alone. Very frequently. It's not really targeted at me.
Or you drink it in a room with me while I'm going, why are you drinking that drink?
Yeah.
Or, what's that? Where's the sugar? Yeah, what sums up the Pepsi thing for you? Like, what an integral part, like, just not to say that this is pointless, this is an integral part of Sam the person. I was in your house once because we were off to do a stand-up gig at some festival place. And your mum was very nice. She made breakfast for us. And she came out and she had nice breakfast for me, nice breakfast for Sam. We sat down and having it outside. And she brought me a mug of coffee and you a can of Pepsi Max. It was 10 in the morning, like.
Breakfast drink.
You know, it is like your get up and go juice. But yeah, several shots of like guys going, God, we're never going to get this Skynet thing operational. Hold up a big can like,
Yeah.
You know, Arnie would tend or favour to duck behind Pepsi machines for cover in some of the shootout sequences. It's a good drink, mate.
Yeah. It's a good drink. Might help you out if you're being shot at.
It's a drink of the 90s.
Yeah.
It's of the time. Yeah. So yeah, the Skynet dudes are basically, they've got the arm and the chip from the Terminator from the first film.
Yeah.
And that is how they're making it's making out this confusing time travel business.
Okay.
They're building the robot that's going to be coming in the future by using a bit of the robot from the future that's come back to the past.
Trying to reverse engineer existing chip and arm.
Yeah.
Make new one.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
And that is bad, so they have to stop them.
Yeah.
Another massive laugh for you was when we have this kind of interrogation scene between Sarah and her psychiatrist, where she's basically trying to pretend that she knows it's all made up, all her Terminator fantasies, just so she can get parole, basically, or get to the minimum security place.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't buy it, not happy.
He's a professional psychiatrist.
He can tell when she's pulling a big old fib on him.
Yeah.
And she snaps, goes crazy, goes right for him. And then he goes, "Model citizen." Which
Well, this is an interview on camera.
Yeah.
And you can see it as it's being filmed. You see what's happening on screen. And as she's being restrained, he turns, looks directly at camera, says, "Model citizen."
Reminds me of my ex-wife, am I right? So here it comes. It's like we're into it fucking now because Arnie and the T-1000 both find our boy JC. So I should point out for the record, I said this to you halfway through. It's like, I've just called him Arnie the whole time.
Yeah, but then I pointed out that
now, I know he's a T-800 Terminator model, right? But he is Arnie.
Arnie.
Much like in Predator, he is Arnie. In Commando, he is Arnie. He's Arnie in every film.
Yeah. John is in an arcade with his little mullet friend.
Yeah, playing some quality Sega games.
And some of the other kids, they're all ratting out their friend
it's
to
the nerd kid as well.
Yeah, he's right over there.
He's right over there. Go kill him, like, you know.
And at this point, it's sexy biker versus sexy cop in a sort of village people race to find John Connor.
So we have this awesome kind of showdown between the two. And what I like about T-1000 is they slowly, gradually reveal all of his powers. Like, he gets shot a little bit, and he's like, oh, bullets do not affect him.
Well, he gets shot, and we were saying before that the special effects were good, but when he gets shot, he just gets covered in cherry Bakewell tins.
Is that like... Because I know if you've been there, where you woke up in the morning with a look of regret in your face, covered in cherry Bakewell tins, because you've eaten them all.
Yeah, and your mum walks in and is like, "Oh, you're a robot and you've been shot." No, Mum.
No, I've only been at the Mr. Kipling. Don't tell Mr. Kipling.
Yeah, so you've got these, like, tin foil coming out of him, but then really good computer CGI of it going back in.
Yeah, they kind of, like, mix and match what is kind of visual, actual... prosthetics, and then with the actual computer stuff. But amazing fucking fight here. You know, Arnie's got a shotgun
in a box full of roses.
Yeah, that's how you sneak it in. You can't be walking around with a gun, like,
you
know? That's the kind of ingenuity that led Arnold Schwarzenegger to become governor of California.
Hey, he's being romantic. Oh no, he's being shooty.
He's being smart, mate. That's what he is. So we have this big, awesome chase sequence. First of many, like, key
great
set
chases.
pieces. Yeah, it's like. This is the kind of thing that in modern games they try to replicate by just sticking a load of quick time events over this kind of thing.
What's that thing in, like, is it in Los Angeles or just in places in America?
Or the kind of storm drain things, like the kind of big alley yokes.
We don't have those here.
No, we don't.
And I have only seen them in, like, films and sort of games.
They're kind of basically like for cities that aren't built on rivers or have natural bodies of water, it's kind of like a way for that. It's like a sewage system. It's a way to pass the water back out.
But they use so much in like everything.
It reminds me of Grand Theft Auto when they're down there. Mainly because I spend a lot of time in there
driving
trying
down there to get away from the car.
Yeah, exactly. You're fucking now you know. Yeah. But this like was the first time I think in the film where I kind of felt that you were not just being entertained, but being, dare I say, thrilled when the T-1000 in the massive truck goes flying off the bridge and lands. Like,
that's a great moment.
Oh, man. And Arnie's going after them with the shotgun, doing the cool reloady thing.
Yeah, yeah.
How does he even do that?
I don't know. It's the spinny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
the
great.
flip they do on it. Fucking amazing. Like.
And speaking of GTA, Arnie, he does like a jump on his bike, and it goes slow-mo.
Goes slow-mo and Arnie turns into another guy in sunglasses for a little bit and then he lands.
And you expect there to be a bit coming up saying like stunt achievement unlocked.
Now saving little circle gimmick going down in the bottom like the truck explodes. Fucking oh god.
The truck chase was so good. There's so many cool bits in it. There's the bit where he goes under the thing and it chops off the top.
Yeah. Arnie like fucking giving chase, jumping on. And he gets John, saves John. But when it explodes, your exact quote was, "He's not gonna survive that." And then he comes out and you went, "Bloody hell." Which is like, I think it's like how my dad would react the first time he saw this. Like, hey, there's no way, mate.
No way.
The villain has to die in the first act.
Possible.
It's not possible he survived this.
Yeah, I've written sexy cop presumably cooked to a crisp. How wrong I was.
Mate, you can't cook metal.
Yeah.
It's impossible. JC gives an introspective speech about kind of, his rough upbringing. He is come across a bit of a dweeb because he's got a big dirty fringe what he's doing this, with his Public Enemy t-shirt. Yeah, I think he mentioned like the whole like Schwarzenegger got to become pals with the kid. And first of many adorable moments where the kid realizes that he can control Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's about to kill these dudes and he stops. And he's like, "Why did you stop?" And Arnie's like, "Because you told me to." It made you laugh again. Like, you laugh big time with that. Like, you know. He teaches him the killing's wrong. Teaching that machine.
Yeah. There's some good sarcastic Arnie. There's that moment where they're fighting those two guys who come up to them. Because he's like, "Get this creep off me."
Yeah.
And they come over. And then it's like, "Take a hike, bozo." Is something that John Connor says.
I was trying to keep track of all of John Connor's 90s-isms.
Yeah, there's so many.
So many.
But when Terminator's going to kill him and he doesn't, John Connor's asking him and saying, "You were going to kill that guy?" And Arnie says, "Of course, I'm a Terminator." That's so funny. It's such a good, like, funny line, and it's delivered in that monotone way.
Because it's like he's not intentionally being funny, but
it's got proper sass to it.
James Cameron, like,
did he write this?
I don't think he wrote it. But
okay.
I mean, because he did another film which he did True Lies is another film with Schwarzenegger. And again, it's like that where he does like kind of plays off Arnie's shortcomings. But Arnie doesn't look like a putz while they're doing this though. He still comes off as a badass because he's meant to be a robot. Like,
but his acting range is being used
to
very
full
well
advantage here, definitely. Yeah, no, it's a fucking funny film at times.
It's not getting comedy out of Arnie in the way that Kindergarten Cop does.
No, which is him trying to be zinging people.
Yeah,
or the comedy which we got in Conan, which is Arnie falling over a lot, going
This is sort of subtle comedy in a way, but it's
nice
really
in a big dumb action movie. It's nice to get a bit of smart. Honest to goodness, proper humour in there at times. So yeah, definitely. They play up the woodenness of Arnie for yucks, like,
also,
and it works.
Doesn't Arnie at some point say, like, John's trying to work out what he is and why he does this stuff?
Yeah, no, he's asked if he's a robot or what's the story is, because I mean, he's basically you at this point. Like,
what's going on?
Why is he?
Yeah.
What happened in the first film?
Yeah, I mean, John Connor doesn't really know what happened in the first film, does he, or does he?
Not really. I mean, his mum has told him like about Skynet and Judgment Day.
But he just thinks she's a crackpot.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. But no, he's asked like what he is, and he says he is a metal pal alloy.
Nice. I tried to write down what I interpret.
What did you get?
Polyolymoid.
He's a polyolly doodle. Polywally doodle is what he is. But yeah, we also get the foster parents being killed as well.
Oh, there's the phone call. If you come home now, John, you can have some lovely stew.
Beef stew. Yeah, it was kind of, again...
The dickhead foster dad really steps up bit. This is like the thing with the creeps at the start. Just before he dies, foster dad has a moment with the dog that's
Wait, he's
barking.
like, right, he's a bad man, basically.
Get rid of that fucking mutt.
Hey, everybody, just so you know, I'm a bad person. And it's like...
Then he's dead.
Then he gets a knife through the mouth. He's
Yeah.
like,
Well, he hated dogs.
guess I'm going to hell. Because I hate dogs.
Max the dog is then killed.
Well, the
T-1000.
No loose ends, mate.
No.
You don't want the dog testifying in a trial, like, you know,
Why
pointing a
can't
paw at him. It was him, mate, like, you know. But yeah, well, something we know now about the T-1000. He can replicate people, and he can mimic their voice, and
Which opens up all kind of scary
he
possibilities.
can mimic their voice, albeit in a threatening and creepy manner.
Yeah.
Uncharacteristic replication of voice. It's alright, we're building up them basically to a showdown at the mental hospital because they want to go save Sarah now.
Sarah's been, I think, she's been quizzed at this point by a detective? No.
Yeah, the detectives come and they're like, yo, we know you know who this dude is.
The detectives come in, and the guy who is, like, asking all these questions is the weirdest looking man.
He's kind of
He looks like a Guess Who character. Because he's like...
he's bald, little
mustache.
mustache, weird nose, crazy eyebrows, big Cheshire cat smile.
Yeah.
He looks a little bit like Waluigi, actually.
It really sticks out. I know he's not an important character, but I thought this guy, like...
He obviously
he's got a
made an
look about
impact,
him.
like,
Yeah,
you know.
definitely.
But I think the aforementioned creeps, the creepier of the two creeps, the big creep with the bodily glasses.
Yeah, proper creep.
He licks Sarah.
Yeah.
Like, really, like, slowly, and, like, he licks her like a cat would, because he has that blank, soulless expression after
So
he does
horrible.
it, like a cat would. I expect him just to drop a dead mouse on her forehead and walk away, like.
So the creep has licked Sarah Connor all over her face. He's gone. And now Sarah Connor's got, like, a paperclip in her
mouth, yeah.
I don't know how she's got that. Very clever girl.
She could have had it in there for any number of...
Yeah. I mean, did the Licky man, was he covered in paperclips?
Maybe he was trying to help her escape. He, like, dropped it from his tongue.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's what happened, but if it did, then we have severely misjudged Creepy Man.
Sorry, I love the way that the fan theory that was come up on this show for the first episode was real, like, oh, fucking yeah. And then this episode, it's like, what if the sex offender has a paperclip in his mouth?
Yeah, like people kind of, a few people said, oh, that thing about R2D2 and C3PO, that's kind of cool. Not with creepy dude has paperclip on his tongue.
He's got big full cheeks. He could store loads for winter.
Like an office supply hamster. Yeah, so she's much like MacGyver. She's got this paperclip and she just makes it into a lockpick and gets out of there.
It's basically like the done thing in 90s action movies. If you have a small piece of metal, hairpin, paperclip,
You
whatever,
can just use it to get out.
you can basically get out of anything. The advent of electronic locks really spoiled that trope for us all in modern day.
Where did she learn that? Where did they teach those lessons?
It's implied, or I think it's said at some point, that between the events of Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, before she gets locked up, she had spent time with, like, military experts and thieves and saboteurs to learn, like, stuff to help her and John survive in the
And presumably
future.
when you're there and you're in the office, they go, hey, look at this, and do some cool stuff with a paperclip.
Yeah, definitely. Little, it's an afternoon, learn how to lockpick like that. So T-1000 becomes one of the security guards.
Yes.
And it's nice in the moment there. He's like, oh, I won big on the coffee bingo, mate.
Oh.
And he gets the old Arya Stark one too. T-1000 gives him the needle right through the eye. Like.
Yeah.
Fucking beautiful
Oh,
stuff.
no, actually, that happens because the security guard, he's walking towards the coffee machine.
Yeah.
And he accidentally steps on T-1000's face.
Who had turned cleverly into a floor.
Into a floor. And so I think T-1000, he's not a bad guy, but if you step on a man's face...
Well, he's justified, like...
Yeah.
I mean, that counts as justified force, I suppose,
That's
in
not
the state
on.
of California. Like.
That's not on. You don't trod...
Don't tread on me!
Don't tread on a man's face.
So Sarah Connor only goes and kills the creep.
Yeah.
which was a fine moment.
A beautiful moment. We could all see it coming from a mile off, but it was still great. Hitting him with a big thing. I don't think he's dead.
He looked pretty fucked to me. Like.
He's really hurt.
Mate, you don't carry on that kind of weight and not have a weak heart.
No, I suppose.
He's got a weak will and a weak heart. He deserved to be killed by a strong woman.
Yeah.
Arnie and the kid descend on the hospital under his new "don't hurt anyone, be nice" and all that kind of stuff. I remember when we watched this, like one of the first times, all the older kids we watched it were like, "Fuck this, man! Terminator shouldn't have any limits." But you know what? It's kind of sweet to see him go around not killing people, as opposed to a 2-year-old child going around with a killing machine going, "Kill him."
Yeah, no, it's good. And Arnie swears he won't kill anyone. So that's to John.
To make him human, basically.
Don't kill anyone. I swear I won't.
Yeah.
But it still has that kind of sarcastic.
He doesn't know even
delivery.
what "I swear" means.
Yeah.
Like. So yeah, we get Sarah Connor finally seeing Arnie, which is like one of my favourite sequences in the movie, which is like she comes out, sees Arnie, and is like, it's the Terminator, and then you have to convince her that no,
she's proper
different
scared.
one. Another big Terminator and T-1000 fight. Fucking hell, like in the elevator shooting up.
Oh
and
yeah.
It's I love it. It's like watching two Godzilla monsters battle, because you feel like there's a weight behind them. They're throwing each other and they're bashing through walls. It's fucking brilliant.
He gets a shotgun to his tinfoil head, which splits in two. That just looks cool.
There's like a point, I think, where you were like, they really are insisting on using guns, and it was around here.
Sarah doesn't realise, and Arnie doesn't realise. No one realises that with the Terminator robots, guns seldom do the trick.
I don't think they do them at all.
No.
To be honest. The only logical explanation, this is seriously like fucking breaking well, there's two. One, they're shooting him to knock him back.
Yeah.
To like knock him out a window or incapacitate him or whatever. And there's a couple of times where that happens.
It can help.
But
it's not going to finish him off, is the point I'm making.
The best excuse I came up with is it looks really cool.
It does look cool shooting him. The cherry Bakewell.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
Because, I mean, if I'm cornered by a goop monster and he's always going to kill him, like, well, fuck it, I'm going to shoot him a few times. Like, oh, look at that. Oh, you know?
He is so gloopy when he comes in through the thing.
They really kind of go whole hog at this point. Yeah. You know that he's basically Mercury, which is... it's always fun to see when special effects are done well, to see things like that.
And it still looks good now.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Gloopinator.
The Gloopinator!
The Gloopinator looks great.
So here, in the coming next there was a moment which another like kind of set piece from the film, of which there are many.
This is great because
this was a really interesting moment, and I wish you could have experienced it. If you have a friend like Sam, experience it with them, because Sam got to see the bit that is parodying.
Well, no, right. What happens, Kevin, is that the Terminator guys, they make an absolutely killer Simpsons reference here. And I, for one, fucking loved it. It was great. That was... Yeah.
It was, the nice nod to Homer loves Flanders.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think that was going to happen.
I love the way how Star Wars influenced... Game of Thrones influenced Star Wars, and Simpsons influenced Terminator too. Like, it's nice to know that the stuff we grew up on was massively inspired by modern day. Like,
yeah. I mean, sure, I'm fiddling around with timelines a bit, but so is the Terminator.
Way! It's an awesome sequence. I expected them to go nutty at some point, and even down to the fact that, like, you know, he uses like the putter and stuff like that, and it's the exact same shape.
It's perfect.
This is funny because you're a massive Simpsons fan like myself. Like,
yeah,
classic Simpsons. Don't get us wrong. And I'm actually kind of jealous of you, because I think once we're into this a fair bit now, Cinema Swirl, you're going to be able to go back and watch The Simpsons, and it's going to be better for you. There's going to be more stuff, more jokes, particularly with Star Wars and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Because they make so many pop culture jokes in The Simpsons back then. Like,
yeah. Well, I've been rewatching Simpsons now, and just through growing up and seeing some stuff, there's so many jokes that I've missed out on, and it's exciting to get them. And with these films, it's going to be loads of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I knew, like, the, Neddy Homer with the golf clubs was referencing something.
But you didn't know it was Terminator 2.
I honestly didn't know what. I'd never bothered to, like, look it up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was lucky when I was a kid. I had a Simpsons book, and actually it was like an episode guide. Yeah. In the bottom corner, it had, like, cultural references in this episode. It's like, oh, this bit is a nod to this film or this thing, which was very, very convenient. But it's like going back and eating a meal when you have a more refined palate. Yes. Yeah. So they managed to get away from the T-1000 finally.
Yeah, he's on the street. He walks away, and I think, right, that's the last we'll see of him.
Just a recurring theme tonight.
He's clearly given up at this point.
Mate, he's got all dusty. There's no way he's going to
He's just
continue
thinking,
now.
I've met my match.
Look at my clothes, they're a state.
Yeah.
The kid starts crying. To it. You mean bastards! A little boy crying.
It's because I know what Arnie says when John's crying.
What's wrong with your eyes? What is love?
Oh, yeah. It's such a good reminder that...
Why do boys have willies and girls do not? Why don't girls have willies too?
It's a great reminder that Arnie is a robot.
Yeah.
It's a nice little...
In case the robotic acting and the fact that he is clearly a robot.
Yeah.
He can't cry.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's true of all bodily fluids. Can Terminator come?
Does a wee?
Can he? I went straight for.
You got come back.
I went straight for that fluid, like, and shades of that wrestling's coming through there, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to think. Do you ever see him do a poo?
You don't see him do a poo, and it's never implied that he needs to
They never
poo.
take a rest. But then again, neither does Sarah or John, like. So
No, but Arnie's made of metal, and he's not gonna...
he could poo out coolant. It's possible. So we get our routine. There's a robot in the movie, so there has to be a scene where they do maintenance. So they fix him up real good. They take him into Los Santos Customs, and they do a nice thing where he's like, kind of, oh, by the way, you can give me free will, and I can become self-aware and whatnot if you just do this thing, and they do. Other than Sarah Connor's like, no, I'm gonna smash this up real good.
Had enough of these Terminators.
He's like, no. Neither of us will sell that many toys, and you know it.
He's my friend. Aww. Because moments before, they were having a little moment where John's trying to straighten Arnie out, make him a bit looser.
Yeah.
Cooler.
Socialise him.
Yeah.
a lovable scene. A very lovable scene. Where John Connor teaches Arnie how to be Bart Simpson. Teaches him, like, radical, bodacious, gnarly.
Don't have a cow.
That is boss. Hella.
Yeah. Sweet grind.
Tubular.
Yeah.
And of course, the big one, hasta la vista. Baby.
Yeah.
Which is a phrase which, funny enough, I don't believe anyone ever heard before this movie.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that, but...
I thought it was from Terminator.
Certainly the first time we heard it in Westmeath is all I'm saying. We have as well, even going around kind of trying to humanize it. Nice little kind of break from the action. Arnie doing the smile.
Yeah.
That was cute.
I think Arnie smiles a lot like I smile. It's very forced.
You're saying this right now with a
got
frankly
a big grin
with a
across my
frankly
face, yeah.
beautiful smile on your face. I'm just saying, Arnie's smile was in my wallpaper for a while because it is just an inherently funny picture.
Yeah, it's very funny.
And again, it's good to show Arnie's got a little bit of... He can do a crap smile. Like, he's
Comedy moment.
Good comic timing from Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnie gives us a big outload of fucking exposition about Skynet, basically telling us, like, how them finding this chip leads to them making this big computer network, which then launches all the nukes, blah, 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 blah.
Something to do with Russia.
Computers are bad.
Yeah.
Don't buy that Commodore 64.
They're going to attack Russia, and then Russia will attack...
The counterattack destroys
everything.
Basically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're then now left that there's one man with the plan, which is Miles Dyson, the family man. Miles Dyson, who assumedly has taken the chip to create the Dyson vacuum series, which...
Got so much stuff about we'll get to it later on. Yeah, no, Miles Dyson, who is introduced to us working away on his computer.
Yeah.
Wife comes up, only goes and bloody licks him. She gives him a tender lick. I mean,
it's funny, if you want to establish someone as being a loving family, don't have him use the same gesture that the fucking sex offender used in the scene previous.
I think maybe what James Cameron is doing is going like, okay, that guy before, that's how not to lick. This woman licking her husband.
They were very similar licks.
They were similar licks.
Perhaps Cameron was saying deep down we're all lickers.
Yeah, but it's important, to consider the context when you're licking someone.
Yeah. Don't lick someone if they're restrained, I think, is the... or if you've got a safety pin in your mouth. It's just... Maybe she was passing him something to complete his job, like a USB stick with loads of files to help him understand the code.
Just in the Terminator universe, that's how people pass things over. You just lick them. That's an accepted thing, and
it's like ravens in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Basically. You know, it's like, here, have you licked your man yet and told him what's going on?
It's so rare that you get two licks in one film.
Back-to-back licks. Yeah.
Well, Miles, he's working away at his computer. Wife licks him. Give it a rest. You got to take the kids to Raging Waters.
Raging Waters.
Which were one of those bands in the 90s. Never really...
Wait, are Raging Waters actually a band?
No.
Because I thought it's like it's either a really shit theme
They
park
could be.
or a really shit band.
Yeah.
We're Raging Waters. Thank you for coming out. I'm bottom being a man. You know.
There might well be a Raging Waters now.
Possibly.
Yeah.
If not, let's form a band called Raging
Yeah,
Waters, because that is a brilliant name.
If you need
mate.
a band name out there, if you're struggling, you're starting a band.
Raging Waters.
Raging Waters.
Yeah, I'm Kevin, and on lead guitar, it's Sam Rapids Chaplin. We are Raging Waters.
1, 2, 3, yeah.
It's the whirlpool.
Yeah.
Right.
We meet Enrique.
So we meet Enrique. Basically, he's there to give guns, shelter, food, water, exposition for the Connors and Terminator.
Do we know who he is from the previous film, or is he just...
No, he is. I think he's basically meant to be one of the people who I mentioned that Sarah had spent time with.
Okay.
Between.
Oh, right, yeah.
Between the two films.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically, the gist of this is two reasons. One, they get to give Arnie a funny name, Uncle Bob.
Uncle Bob.
Uncle Bob with his leather.
Yeah.
And two, it's just to explain how Arnie will have
So
all
many
those
guns.
weapons later on.
He opens up a dusty hatch full of guns.
Yeah, and he takes them all out. They chat for a little bit, but it's mainly kind of get all them big bullets, Arnie.
Yeah.
You know, he sees a minigun. You know,
Which I said was a big gun.
and I was like, no, it's literally the opposite. Of
Opposite.
that. It is a mini gun, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arnie does have mini fun with the mini gun later on. Though, don't get me wrong. Arnie's lines at this point, because we reached a point in the movie where there's a lot of dialogue now. I was finding this point, Arnie's lines were getting equal parts laughs and groans from you. There were a few points where he was saying stuff where you were like you seem pained by some of his expressions.
I think it's more of the kind of, why do you cry?
I am a machine. It's when they're talking about, are you afraid of dying? He's like, no, negative. I am a machine. I'm not afraid of nothing, not even spiders. You know? And he's like, do you think we'll be friends forever? He's like, negative. You will die. Yeah. Sarah Connor now has one of my favourite parts of the movie, her little internal monologue about shit dads.
Yeah.
And how out of, you know, all the crappy deadbeat men who've tried to care for John, it is only the robot, you know, who's gone and done it. I was expecting, though, Arnie just to explode in and be like, not all men. Hasta la vista, milady. You know, he was it was nice, you know.
Yeah, she really has a go at bad dads. I think she doesn't like them as much as John doesn't like kids playing Nintendo at school.
Because it'll be like, you know, most of these Arnie movies are fucking sausage fests.
Yeah.
Like, it's just dudes, and if they're women, they tend to be like damsels in distress, or at best sassy or feisty. You know? So it's like, you know,
Sarah Connor's kind of neither of those. She's not got like sass. She's just,
she's fucking she's badass.
Yeah.
I think is a better term for her.
Definitely.
We see the playground blaze.
Yeah,
and Judgment Day again, but this is like the director's cut one because they all turn to Oreos and then explode.
It's so horrible.
It's tough going, yeah.
Really intense. I say it kind of labours the point that shit's going really wrong. People are burning. I'm sure you see burnt children.
You do, no, you see the children on the playground turn to like Pompeii kind of figures.
God.
And then there's the blast and they like explode into like loads of like dead wood. Now, that's fucking shocking imagery.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind, from the age of 6 upwards,
You've been watching this
50 times or so. Yeah. That's our estimate. God. But yeah, she wakes up from it though, because it's like, bleh! Bad dream, because it's like fucking children turn into skeletons and explode and stuff like that. But like, you know, I can relate though, because, you know, sometimes I'll have a dream where like I fall off like a bit of a ledge. Yeah. Or like a bee stings me or something. So like, you know. You know, I get that, Sarah, you know, I really do.
At that point she clears off to
No, she doesn't clear off, mate. It's the 1990s. She splits.
She splits. to find Miles and
Kill him.
yeah, Arnie and John. They eventually work this out, which has John saying, "Oh shit, Dyson." And I had hoped this would be a moment where they sort of say, "Let's vacuum our problems away."
Alrighty, we cut to Dyson's home, where again he is slave to that computer, mate, isn't he? He's worse than me, always on that bloody internet, huh?
Yeah, and his little boy's racing an RC car around, which I thought was another one of the chase scenes that had just been badly special effected.
I would have been pretty amazing if T-1000 came after them in a monster truck next, So yeah, we have Sarah, appearing in the shadows with her big rifle. And she's got to kill Dyson. And doesn't really pan out as well for her. She misses the shot. He gets grazed. She starts shooting loads. She goes in and she's has her kind of a "what have I become" type moment.
Yeah.
And then Arnie and the kids show up just in time to kind of explain everything to Mike Dyson, the heavyweight champion of computer programming. And he gives a pretty good point, pretty good irrefutable evidence. Arnie only takes his bloody arm off, all the skin and stuff.
That proves the point. And that's good because it's the arm that Dyson's got in the thing.
Looks fucking brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really good effects again, Well, I just wrote with the next bit of plot here. Gonna go destroy chips. Mate, I love chips. I do.
That's me on a Saturday.
That's me, eh?
I'm out to destroy some chips.
Mate, you destroy those chips. Fucking hell, Put him in a butty. So they go off. They're going to destroy all the chips so that, his work can't be replicated and torch the lab. Go into the lab.
Cyberdyne.
If
Yep.
you're working for Cyberdyne, you're the baddies.
Yeah.
Where do you work? Oh, I fucking intern at Cyberdyne. I interview at fucking Grimlock Industries. Where we make...
It's not a good sign.
No, definitely not. And anywhere where there's that much glass and chrome is begging to be blown up.
Yeah.
In a 90s movie, if you've got a lab coat and you can see 6 panes of glass throughout an open plan lab, you're on thin ice. And so they go in there. Dyson sweats a lot.
Oh man, he's sweating buckets. And everyone else looks relatively calm. Dyson, he's really out of his element.
Dyson's out of his elements, even though he's in a lab, which is officially his element.
He's on home turf, but he's really sweating.
We get a nice kind of brute force moment when Arnie shoots several doors and locks, just blows everything up. Fucking love that, mate. You know?
Oh, the Gibbons, the security guy.
Gibbons! You had such an attachment to Gibbons.
I was so concerned about Gibbons.
Why?
Because they all come in, and Miles is sort of saying, "These are friends from out of town. I just want to show them the thing." And Gibbons is saying, Come on, Dyson. You know the rules." And then Arnie says, "I insist." And, he gets taped up and Gibbons is in the loo. Gets all taped up in the loo.
Gets gagged up and tied by a 10-year-old child.
Yeah.
The indignity.
I know. And I was worried about Gibbons. When a lot of stuff happens in Cyberdyne.
This whole... If you're familiar with this movie, you know that what follows is a very lengthy action sequence.
Throughout the whole thing, I was still thinking...
And this is kind of like... For me, it was like... If you're watching a TV show, but there's a taxi coming or pizza coming, there's something coming in the next 30 minutes, you just kind of keep quickly glancing over your shoulder.
Yeah.
I felt like while what followed, this amazing action sequence with Arnie taking out all these cops, you were very concerned about the whereabouts of Gibbons.
Yeah.
And even when they showed him in the jacks with his arms all slinged up on the toilet, I think that even made you more concerned.
Yeah.
Because now you knew he was uncomfortable.
Because he's there uncomfortable, face down in on the floor of a toilet.
Which is not a sanitary place to be.
No.
Probably old fag ends and condoms there, mate.
The other guy comes in, it's like, "Oh, Gibbons is down," and then he just raises the alarm. He doesn't help Gibbons.
Cops come, lots of shooting. Fucking unbelievable. Yeah. Poor old Miles gets jobbed out though, where they're setting up the bomb for everything. He gets shot by all the police, and they have it rigged to blow.
Yeah.
And, my God, this is kind of one of my favorite "everything's going to explode" sequences ever, because Miles is dying. And he's got the
he's been shot to shit.
He's been shot to shit, and he's he's about to let off the bomb. He goes. Explosion!
Yeah.
Oh, it was like
big jizz.
Wyro, Miles does a wank and destroys Cyberdyne Labs.
Yeah.
Mate, we've all been there.
We have. We've all destroyed a few labs.
His sexual frustration manifested itself, and destroyed that entire building.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then
That's
we
great.
get what? This is like a hand shot first moment in terms of blink and you'll miss it. All that fuss for nothing. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Arnie just kind of says it as a run-on sentence.
That's speaking of that's tossed off really quick. It's just you get it and then he's
Now, I
gone.
will say that it's very weird. Arnie's very, very strange in the fact that he's the only actor I know of who has a catchphrase which goes across films. So he says, "I'll be back" in, say, Running Man, for instance. He says, "I'll be back."
Really?
He says, "I'll be back" in Commando as well. He says it in different movies, which is it's ridiculous.
That's so weird.
It wouldn't happen these days.
No. Does it happen in The Expendables?
He probably, he
Yeah.
definitely. No, there is a scene in The Expendables where they have like him and Bruce Willis and Stallone have a conversation that is mostly jaded references to better films.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that happens.
Oh, actually, sorry. When the police are all coming in and shooting the shit out of Dyson,
Oh, this was amazing.
Yeah,
My mind was blown with this. Yeah.
there was a sort of bold, police-looking dude. I said, "Oh, Hank Schrader's here," as a joke, just being like, "That guy looks a bit like."
And he didn't
Hank from Breaking Bad.
really
He
look
didn't.
like him. He
No.
was just a bald dude, and he had all the SWAT gear on as well, so you
Yeah.
couldn't really tell.
Turns out that is him.
I
He is
know.
in it. Yeah.
Amazing.
IMDb. That's
Fucking mind-blowing.
Dean Norris. He's,
Funny as well, actually, we're sitting right beside my Total Recall poster, which is in my bedroom here.
Yeah.
See bottom left, the guy who's kind of got the brain over his face?
Yeah.
That's Hank Schrader as well.
Is it?
Yeah!
Ah,
Him and Arnie are have worked together
They're
on
film
multiple
buddies.
films.
that's great.
He's Jesse Ventura come back to
Wow.
life. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So T-1000 appears then after a lengthy absence.
Yeah, when the gang have had so much on their plate, it's really a kick in the jimmies to have T-1000 roll up again.
Because when T-1000 appears, it's basically, right, there'll be no more endearing scenes between the man and the boy now because there's a scary robot on their tail. So, yeah, he's climbs the stairs in a motorbike.
Yep.
As you do.
Yeah.
Logical computer. Damn you, ruthless logical machines. Constantly equating the most logical way to do things.
Yeah.
And he nicks a chopper then in a pretty spectacular...
And a very gutsy move.
A very ballsy move.
Ooh.
I've tried that in Grand Theft Auto and it's not ended well, mate.
Never works out. That's proper action. That's such an action movie sequence.
And it's
Driving
not...
up-
It looks proper. It's a
Yeah.
real helicopter, He's actually on it.
drives out of a window in a motorbike, grabs onto a helicopter, gloops in.
Now, obviously, the gloop is...
gloop is, yeah.
But you know what? There's something to be said for fucking tactile, real, tangible... you can touch it. It's something that has exploded.
It looks very convincing. Yeah.
Fucking A. A lot less people are probably dying on sets these days now when you think about it, but... God damn it, I still like
It was worth it.
Lovely helicopter van chase now. The guys all escape in the kind of a paddy wagon.
Yep.
They've been chased by... Again, it's just like vehicle chase. And he's like going underneath bridges. It's so Grand Theft Auto again.
Yeah. Under the bridge bonus.
Everyone goes on, I was like, oh, Drive is greatly inspired Grand Theft Auto. I was like, I think fucking shit like this, we can probably say now, has had a massive influence on that series.
Yeah,
definitely. Big crashes, though. Like when the helicopter finally gets taken down.
Yep.
Massive fucking explosion. Sarah gets shot.
Yep.
But T-1000 now pursues in a truck, which is where
His
he's done
favourite, yeah.
he's done his best work in the truck, as we found previously. So yeah, Arnie and then they're in like kind of a little car. It's like the car from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, it doesn't go fast enough.
Yeah. Well, have you seen Dumb and Dumber?
No. So when I said I was just
You're
I was
just
going along with
You've
it.
got to stop agreeing for the sake of it. The point of this podcast is to
Okay.
find...
Not seen Dumb and Dumber.
Not seen it, mate. But yeah, they're in a kind of a gag car essentially.
Yeah.
And they're going 60 miles an hour, and the kid is like, I can run faster than this.
Yeah, like John is still this little sassy jerk in such a... His mum's been shot, and he's gonna
They've
die.
blown up a building.
Yeah.
They're
he's
on the
still
run.
being snarky.
Mate, you can't crush the spirit of a 1990s rebellious youth.
It's incredible.
He's not like you and me. He's got strong will. you
Oh,
know?
and he hacked that vault like the ATM.
And he said easy money again.
Yeah, I was so rubbish because it had the same PIN identification number thing as the thing.
You know what I think sums up John Connor quite well? they show these films so often in Ireland, in Poundland in Ireland, for a long time, you could get the Terminator 2 figures, even though it was like years after they were released, like 6 years after they'd come out. Between me and my friends, we had every single one of them. Yeah. I like a T-1000, you pressed a button and he exploded, and we had Arnie and battle damaged Arnie and the exoskeleton and all that stuff. No one owned the John Connor toy.
No. Well, who would want it?
Who would want it?
John Connor's like a important character.
But he's just aged terribly, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But even then I thought he was a dickhead, it was the same. Bad influence. Don't hang around with them.
He just needs a skateboard, really. That's all he
and
needs to complete.
Slingshot. So,
they're being chased by T-1000 in a liquid nitrogen truck. I wonder if that'll come up.
Very slowly drives past there. Did you figure that out straight away?
I knew I saw the liquid nitrogen thing was really spelled out that was going to be significant.
It's kind of like, again, like the baddies in Star Wars. It's like, don't worry, I'm going to stay right beside my obvious thing that is going to take me down,
Yeah.
Alrighty.
It's signposted a bit that something's going to happen with that nitrogen.
Yeah, you know it's coming. Yeah. So Arnie takes down... It's weird. He kind of takes down the truck. Like, if you ever saw a charging bulb being taken down by a guy, he kind of incapacitates it. Arnie basically gets on the truck and kind of is like, and it just flips over, and it's fucking amazing.
Great, though. He's been shooting at it for a while, but then he just goes, right, I'm going to have to...
Got to put a little bit of salt and pepper on this, guys.
Jumps on it, grabs the wheel, jackknifes it.
And they're going through off a highway into this giant steel mill. And it's funny to think this is big action sequence number 5 or 6, and you're still being thrilled, even though it's the same kind of thing. It's the same. It is Arnie being chased by someone can kill him,
but he's kicking ass.
Yeah,
he's so good.
Fucking great.
Yeah.
So right, what comes here then? The thing flips over. T-1000 gets nitrogened.
Yeah. Well, I was saying it's been a long day for T-1000, and obviously. He's shattered.
Hey! In possibly one of the coolest, my most favourite moments in cinema ever, when he's frozen, and he's completely frozen stiff, and Arnie just takes out the pistol and goes, "Hasta la vista, baby!" Shoots him. When he said that, you just went, that is so fucking cool.
Yeah. But like that.
It is, though, isn't it? Yeah. Because I think,
and I don't say things like that often.
No, I think that is the first time I've ever heard you refer to something as being cool.
And there was no irony.
That was a genuine
silliness
statement.
That was just me going,
that was cool.
That was really cool.
Because I think there's something I would point out, right? Because as you probably know, guests from far, I'm a massive Arnie fan.
Yeah, you've said as much.
Yeah, and I've got the whole collection. I've got all the Arnie movies, even the really shit ones. And I think, because there's no one here when I moved to the UK who shares that interest with me. So it's something that's been put on the shelf, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people assume when I go how much I love Arnie movies, they're like, oh, it's just kind of like a Plan 9 or a it's so bad it's good.
Yeah.
And it's like,
well, that's what I thought
ridiculous. It's ridiculous, over the top, and that's why you like it. Movies like this are objectively brilliant. It's just the fucking best ever.
Yeah, that reaction to that moment really felt good, because it was just like...
But when you see that moment there...
I wasn't being cynical, I was just happy that something really awesome had happened.
And when you see moments like that, you can kind of go, right, I know he's made a movie where he's pregnant, but I can understand why the man is the star he is, just because of shit like that. Because that is just fucking awesome. Alrighty.
So he's been shattered by Arnie, he's been hasta la vista'd. He's in bits on the floor.
Did you think that was the end of him?
I would have been so happy if that was the end.
Because it was pretty much a high note there.
Perfect, taking down of
someone. Shoots him, hasta la vista, baby, then Bad to the Bone plays.
Yeah, and when they're, in the steel mill and he's in bits on the floor, I think I said to you, he's not going to get metalled back together, is he?
Because which was a verb which you did create for the purposes of it. Yeah. But he does, he melts down, and they use kind of awesome stock footage of actual Mercury. They kind of reverse it. They use footage of Mercury.
Is that true?
Sorry, I shouldn't say stock footage, sorry. But they use it's actual footage of Mercury, which I think they reversed. So it looks like it's kind of reforming as opposed to dissipating. So it looks really awesome.
Yeah, no one would think to do that now.
Yeah, because people would just be like, special effects.
Put it on the computer it.
But I think, with movies like this...
That's why it looks so... Oh.
It's ingenuity. Because it looks natural, because it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Which, it's sadly missing these days.
I'm at the point where I just assume it's CGI now. But
Yeah, I know it is a podcast about films where we're going, oh, CGI is rubbish. I wish they did old special effects. But we fucking do, alright? It's fucking brilliant. So we get another fight, and it's like mano y mano. Here the fuck we go. Final encounter. So goddamn rad. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger versus T-1000. And what I think is one of the best things about this movie is that even though he's Arnie and he's built out to be the ultimate killer, he is still the underdog. Because he is a T-800. He is fighting a T-1000. By robot logic, it is pointless. Because he's destined to not win.
There's kind of this, like, old man narrative where it's like he's, the
obsolete.
Yeah. It's quite sad.
It's really, I mean, you don't think... Because all throughout this film, you're kind of like, Arnie's cool, Arnie has his moments, Arnie's funny, Arnie's badass. But you don't expect to feel sorry for him. And the moment actually where I felt that it looked like you actually had a little bit, dare I say, a little bit of emotion coming out here.
Wow.
Was when Arnie is up against the wall and the T-1000 keeps smashing him with the girder.
The whole fight is really brutal. Arnie punches through his head, and that doesn't do anything. He's losing here.
He's trying his dangest as well.
And it's doing nothing. And then T-1000's hitting him with a girder. But it looked so painful, and I had to keep there was emotion. I had to keep reminding myself, Arnie is a robot. This doesn't hurt him.
But when it shows like his face smashing too and stuff like that,
we both had the same kind of.
Yeah,
Ooh.
and I've seen it fucking 50 times, and I was still going, oh.
Girder to the face, shown quite explicitly. It's horrible.
It's fucking. They play it. They heavy with. Again, it's like before. They don't. There's no kind of room for interpretation. It's just full on. Feel sorry for Arnie. Smash.
Yeah.
It comes at you at full force of a fucking girder being thrown at you like
murder with a girder.
Murder with a girder. Then we get a pretty cool moment, which is the T-1000 and Arnie is seemingly dead.
He's been stabbed with a big thing,
and his arm has been ripped off as well. His eye his computer eye goes out. He didn't even get to zap him with it.
No.
So you get Sarah Connor like facing off against the T-1000.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a pretty cool moment, like.
Yeah, very good.
She does the whole thing where she's like, you think she's gonna kill him because she keeps filling him full of all these shotgun blasts, and he's going flying back.
Again, this was a moment where I was getting so excited that she was shooting him, and he was getting backed off further towards this teetering edge where he was going to fall off into the molten metal.
Yeah.
I was like, one more shot, and then she shoots.
Click.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's difficult for me to explain how much this film got me going.
It's fucking nuts. It's amazing to see. Like it is, it did what said in the tin. This action film. And then just when they feel that T-1000 is going to come back and get her, who comes riding up on a cog, but fucking Arnie, who's back in business with the one bullet left for his grenade launcher, shoots him with it. Fucking hell.
He said he'd be back.
He was right, like. He blows him in twain. It's one of the coolest looking sights ever.
Oh, he's dangling off the edge,
he's all like
split in two.
And he makes all these weird noises as well. And topples backwards.
Yeah.
And with a plop into that hot, spicy soup.
Now that's a fatality.
Hey! But yeah, the T-1000, hasta la vista.
T-1000 dies in sort of montage form, like morphing into all the
memories.
Yeah, there's like mustache security guard,
stepmom,
awful stepmom.
Yeah, you're right. He goes through it all, and it's kind of a real he goes out kicking and screaming. He's like the bit is where the head comes out and he goes Rah! And the mouth melts backwards through his open mouth, and then a face comes out and it's like yeah.
Yeah, and the thing that was kind of to me scary about that was that we keep mentioning CGI, but that is CGI, but it's not as advanced as we're used to now. But I think it looks scarier because the way it kind of folds and looks.
What's smart about this is the fact that they made him a silver blob, which meant that they could have not very intrinsic, not like it's just shiny because he is kind of all glossy and stuff.
Yeah.
So they could just play around with shapes.
Yeah.
But when you think about the most powerful console out of the time would have been 91. We would have had a Mega Drive maybe. So I mean, to think that
I was kind of 2 months old.
Yeah, I know. It's to think that. I mean, how old are you now?
23
and
now.
Your CGI is rubbish, mate. I mean, I should have just looked at the state of it when you were 3 months old.
Yeah.
But yeah, T-1000 dies, which is like a massive relief.
Yeah, that's great.
He is a character, I think, that you have a serious kind of a
Yes, he's gone. Yeah.
because he's a soulless machine who has no kind of a. Always in movies these days, I think find out he's trying to show you kind of the human side of the villain, or kind
There's
of like
no human side of
but
the
he's
villain.
conflicted. It's like, no, this guy is just a bastard, and
Just a complete piece of shit.
seeing him die is fucking
So
great.
good. Yeah. And Arnie, shortly after this, says, "I need a vacation." And I thought, how does he know what a vacation is?
Software.
Yeah, he's been loaded with the Terminator on Holiday expansion pack.
He's got the Hawaii.exe file in there. So yeah, we have then, of course, the emotional climax of the film as Arnie reveals they destroy the chip in the arm. T-1000 is gone, and then Arnie's like, "There's one more chip,"
Yeah.
and he points at his brain,
Yeah.
and he's na 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 na.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he gets a hug from John, who loves his weird robot metal dad. And he gets a handshake from Sarah.
I think that's kind of a mutually respectful. Like, I thought
Good day to you.
I thought Sarah would have been like, this is more fuel for her, kill most men fire that she's got going on here. Because it's like, oh, look, there is don't you hate it when a guy comes around and you finally think he's like a good father figure and he only goes and bloody dunks himself in molten lava? Fucking men, like, ridiculous, weak. So, pops on, does a little dunk. The thumbs
up.
Ah!
Oh, it's like he's learned how to be nice and, like, that's...
And it gets you as well because it's like you're worn out from all the action.
I think a thumbs up is the most human thing.
He could have done it, or an A-OK symbol, like, or a wagging finger, like. But, like, I feel like at this point in the movie, you're kind of like you're a helpless little kitten because you've been scared, you've been thrilled, you've been made laugh, you've been very, very, very tense in this last 10, 15 minutes. And now they hold back that sad bit right for the end. They hit you right in the fucking stomach with it.
It's such quick succession from the fuck yeah, bad guy has had a horrible death to
now the hero.
Now the good guy has to have the same death, and there's not a minute between these moments. It's so quick, and
I don't know if
so
I cried about this as a kid, but I remember being very, very sad by the whole thing.
Him being lowered down takes a long time. There's
Like,
lots of...
something is very sad when you're a child. When it's so sad, you have a nightmare about it. And I had nightmares about this as a kid.
Yeah.
Because it's bad. Because it's a scary things usually for nightmares, or falling off a very small ledge.
Yeah. But this is...
Or a wasp stinging you, as mentioned. But it's bad and it's really emotional when, as a child, you wake up going, "Ah, that's so sad!"
Yeah, sad nightmare.
Night sorrows instead of terrors, like. But yeah, there you go, Terminator 2.
Oh,
Fucking,
that was such an experience.
and I love this, right? First time watching.
Yeah.
51st time watching. And I think we're both so fucking jazzed up and enthusiastic about it that I think that speaks volumes about Terminator 2.
Yeah. I mean, so far with this podcast, we've done 2, but these are films where I keep thinking, watching it now, not going to get that same childhood rush. But in both instances, it's still been there. I've still been proper...
I think with this one, it was like, bar the kind of the very 90s nature of, like, some of the bits of dialogue, but other than that, it's pretty timeless. I mean, in terms of, like, the action and whatnot, it looks great. Like,
doesn't look out of place. It
no.
doesn't look dated at all.
Because Star Wars, it felt like there was kind of I understand this is a big thing, I enjoyed it, so therefore, but this one... Like, it seemed like you really thoroughly... It wasn't kind of I see why this is popular. It seemed like you really fucking loved it. I think you liked it a little bit more than Star Wars.
There wasn't the same pressure with Terminator 2. Even though it's a big deal. Like,
there isn't that community.
No.
People don't dress up as...
You were saying... I don't know if it was on the podcast or not. You were saying that there's no great mythology of Terminator in the same way there is for other franchises.
There is, but it's just
it doesn't go as deep.
It hasn't got the devotion that a Star Wars would have.
Yeah, there's not as many cosplay opportunities within Terminator. You've got Terminator, That's about it.
I think you could do a pretty sweet John Connor.
Yeah.
Get that Public Enemy t-shirt on you. Like,
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, Public Enemy must have been pretty happy with that.
Mate, you pretty much just cosplay the character who drinks Pepsi and
Yeah.
fucking
That little dork at
knocking into
Cyberdyne.
bins. Knocking into bins, drinking Pepsi.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this was ranked highly then on
so good. And I don't like action, but
What
maybe
would
I
have
do.
been- What would have been the kind of... Because you see you don't like action.
Yeah.
What were the action movies you would have said you've seen before this, though?
I'm not sure.
What, like... You only saw, like, Dark Knight. You've seen that.
Yeah.
Avengers.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, like now there's like
Those are all
superhero
superhero
movies, but
movies.
still kind of action. There's a lot of just like a lot of big blockbuster summer movies that are not really memorable, but come out and you go and see them.
Yeah.
Are kind of big action movies.
Yeah, I think you might... Because, I mean, I consider myself a massive action fan.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be a fan of... You know, if a movie comes out that's like, this is the next action classic, I'm like,
Yeah.
it probably won't be.
It's got Jason Statham in it. You know?
Yeah, and I think part of that is, like, you don't have the honest-to-goodness characters like fucking... like, Schwarzenegger is such a ridiculous man.
Yeah. There's not an equivalent now, I don't think. of
No,
that
because
kind
someone
of-
like Schwarzenegger couldn't become a star now.
No.
Because look at all his shortcomings. He can barely
Yeah.
fucking speak the language.
I mean,
And I love the fact that they took that and made this out of it.
yeah, used it perfectly. Like, how old is he in this film?
He would have been just around 30.
Okay.
So early. This would have been... I say this would have been his first hit, but this would have been his first kind of... Because this was a monster hit. This was kind of the first, like...
So is this much bigger than Terminator?
yeah.
When did the first one come out?
Would have been late 80s sometimes.
Right.
So,
This is 91.
91, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is... You'll see it again with we'll probably do Alien as
Yeah.
well. And Alien is a movie where Alien, the first one, is a seminal horror film. And
Right.
Alien, the second one, is a seminal fuck yeah action movie. And this follows the same sequence of that logic, you know.
Right.
So I mean, a super spooky horror film or like a real tense thriller like that can only have so much appeal. You know, there's
Yeah.
I think with those kinds of movies there's like kind of a line of you can only be this successful. Whereas something like this where it's fucking explosions out the wazoo and
That just like
Humor
screams
and-
blockbuster.
this is the formula of like how to make a blockbuster.
Yeah.
Wisecracking sidekick, kick-ass main character, scary villain, awesome female support. You know, you've got all those elements in there.
I think my point about not liking action is that has been copied so badly so often.
A hatchet job,
Yeah.
usually. Yeah. So I think it'd be interesting to see what you make of the other action movies, because if you like this, you'll probably like a lot of Arnie's other
I
offerings.
really liked this.
And you'll probably like a lot of Sylvester Stallone's offerings as
Okay.
well. So, I mean, we've got plenty to sink our teeth
Yeah,
into.
yeah.
Was the movie different in any ways than what you thought it would be? Because, I mean, you didn't really have many preconceptions going in, I don't think. Not as many as you had with Star Wars.
No.
But was it a different kind of movie? Did it live up to any kind of thoughts or you might have had about it? Or
It's longer than I thought. That was a long film, but
yeah, and actually, fun fact about that is, I think I hadn't sat down and enjoyed that movie in so long, because this is a movie which you come back from a night of drinking and be like, oh, let's fucking watch Terminator 2, and you're an hour in, it's like, how long is left? An hour and 40 minutes, like, ugh. You know? So I'm like, you know, this is a good time to watch it. But yeah, long film.
long film. It was just like really good, and I didn't have that many preconceptions about it.
Yeah.
Like, I knew people liked it, and I thought I wouldn't like it. That's what happened. I thought
You thought
I
that-
thought I'm going to laugh at Arnie being Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's going to be explosions, chases, and there were, and Arnie was still Arnie. But
Yeah,
it's
it
such
all
a
flowed
perfect
together, like,
combination
yeah.
of those things.
Fucking, there's a fucking
Yeah.
perfect ass movie.
5 star wipes.
5 star wipes.
Yeah, I'm going all out. Yeah.
5 star wipes. You heard it here. Thanks very much for listening to episode 2 of Cinema Swirl. This episode was produced by me, Kevin, edited by Sam, and the music was also made by Sam. As always, make sure you go over to facebook.com/Cinema Swirl, give us a like, vote on upcoming episodes, and let us know your thoughts on the show so far. Also follow us at Cinema Swirl on Twitter, and follow Sam at Sam Chaplin, and me, Kevin, at KefinMan, spelled with an F inexplicably. Also be sure to check out on YouTube the new animation series which was done by Joe. Check her out as well on Twitter at @TheJoannaGraham. Thanks very much for listening, and remember, if you want to send us any questions, comments, or stuff to talk about with Sam, it's cinemaswirl@gmail.com. John Connor's he's the sore one out here. He's the only one who's not sexy. He's not cut that. Cut that right out.